Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Guru Preceptors, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet and ask thy blessings at our satsang today. May we feel thee within our thoughts, within our minds, within our souls. Awaken us into thy light. Om Shanti, Shanti. Today's topic is spiritualizing your free time. And there's a fun story at the end, so you won't want to leave early. And we'll start with a song and then an excerpt from a talk by Swami Kriyanandaji. Welcome again, everybody.
Peace gave us the mountains, peace gave us the sky. Nightly when starlight enfolds us, peace is its lullaby. Peace gave us the morning, peace gave us the sun, bird songs that call us to welcome day and fresh labors begun. Peace gave us the seasons, peace gave us the rain, cool clouds that gather to bless us, mist hands that soothe away pain. Peace gave us our heart's love, peace gave us our smiles, rays of thy presence within us, light that all strife reconciles. Amen.
most of the time our lives are not set for heroism. And so we sit back and read Newsweek. And it's okay a little bit, but the trouble is that a day goes by and how much have you done of anything else? And another day goes by and how much have you done of anything else? And a year goes by and what did you really accomplish? And you think, well, life is long, but you wake up at the age of 70 and realize that it wasn't long at all. A friend of mine was talking about his mother, who, at the age of 85, couldn't remember what happened yesterday, but could remember clearly all the little things that happened when she was 20. As if all those years just hadn't quite existed. Another interesting fact was Joseph Conrad. He was born Polish and became English and learned English absolutely perfectly, and of course was a great writer. And in his old age, he developed a thick Polish accent. Strange. But really, the difference between one part of one's life and the first part of one's life and the last part of one's life is not all that great. A friend of my mother's, who was probably 78, said that people look at me and they see me as an old woman, but when they say it, when I see them thinking that way, I just laugh because I know I'm just that same little girl, and that's the consciousness inwardly doesn't really change all that much. She always had the consciousness of a little girl, which is why she would put it that way. But the fact all the same is that life is extraordinarily short, and we should not waste our time. We should put our time into things that are really worthwhile. Don't think that you can sort of drown. You see, just like Mardi Gras, the fillers, the distractions, all the little things we do to escape the responsibility for listening to the divine voice within ourselves, these are like Mardi Gras, a kind of hysteria, a kind of madness, a kind of inebriation.
Good morning again, everyone. So nice to welcome you today. This is such a wonderful topic, how to spiritualize your free time. It may be a topic that we haven't heard before, but it's very important because of what Swamiji said. Life is short. We think it's long. We think we can do whatever we want. We think everything is going to be fine. And we actually think we're going to find God, and we're not doing the right things in the right way. I was remembering when I was some years back, I mean, some decades probably, I used to take vacations at a beautiful place in Hawaii. I remember one time I was there for a couple of weeks, and that was way too long for one. And I came to get rejuvenated, to get more energy, to get rested. But I realized what was happening was that I was getting more and more tired. I was getting more and more complacent. I was getting more and more lazy. My consciousness was going down. It wasn't going up. My attunement was starting to flag. I didn't feel Master's presence as much. And it was really frightening. I thought, why am I going on this trip, on this vacation, and I'm not with Divine Mother? I'm not with the Masters. I'm with my old habits, my old thoughts, the old level of energy, the no magnetism, the wrong way of behaving, maybe. Uh, it just wasn't a proper time with God and gurus. So we have to realize that all of our time, we don't spend the time off without God and gurus. We don't spend the vacation without them. The only true time off is really with them. I was talking to a friend yesterday who was saying, because I was realizing on that trip that my old desires were popping up and things I wanted to do. And I mean, your mind just gets in another whole state if you're not keeping your spiritual practices going. And he was saying that about a particular car that, oh yeah, I really like that car. And saw that car. He said, yeah, that's a nice car. I said, yeah, that's a nice car, but why don't we find God first and then think about a car? After you find God, you're not thinking about a car. After your consciousness is uplifted, you're not thinking about all those kinds of things. And so we have to remember that we have to include God and gurus in everything. Not, I'm off today, Divine Mother. I'm off today, Master. Don't bother me today. I was remembering something just came to my mind that there was a holiday. There's a lot of holidays here in India, and there was yet another holiday. And so in the Sangha office here, we were still serving, and I was asking one of my coworkers here, friends, Guru Bhais, I said, oh, is today a holiday? He said, yeah, today's a holiday, Dhyana ji, like looking at me like, why are we working? It's a holiday. And I said, well, we're serving because we love our guru. And he couldn't say anything about it then. And it's the truth that everything we do, we're trying to stay in tune with our guru. We're not, don't go on a vacation without master. You go on a vacation on your own. I mean, I wouldn't do anything without God and guru. How can you even breathe? How can you walk? How can you talk? How can you swim in the ocean or whatever you're trying to do? You can't. And so everything that we're doing, we're bringing God and gurus. We don't take a day off without them. So question is, how long should that time off be? Who should you go with? What should you do? How do you spend that time? And I was remembering going with Swamiji with other people on trips here, there, short times off, or even after a large program, a big weekend or something. It was interesting. I really learned a lot because he didn't want you to just collapse afterwards and, oh God, I'm exhausted. I just got to go lie down in bed. He would always just want to keep the energy up, not just from high to just boom, rock bottom. So he would say, oh, after whatever the program was or whatever. And I remember the times with him was a completely different time off, completely different vacation. It was always high consciousness. And if we had done a big program, he would say, oh, let's go for a walk, or right afterwards, or let's go for tea, or let's have tea, or let's go for dinner, or let's also watch a movie. And you didn't want to do any of that. You were just exhausted. You really weren't, but your mind was. You just wanted to find your bed and just flop down into the bed. But he knew what you're thinking. So he would say, no, let's do this, let's do that. So by the time he was finished with you, you didn't feel so exhausted. It's the mind that's always thinking, I've got to have more time, I've got to be off. And I just was loving that, how he trained us not to just collapse, but to keep your consciousness high no matter what. So let's go back a little bit. Why do we need free time? Well, most yogis, at least those on the front lines, and many of you probably run at top speed. There's so many things to do. And Master says, like you're running at top speed and juggling at the same time. You try to get this and that project's going. This person needs a call. You need to go do that program. You're on the plane going there. It just is constant. You need to balance your life. You can't just be running, thinking all the time, what am I going to do now? You have to be able to relax, let go of the tensions, be able to rejuvenate yourself, to rest your brain, rest your body. I was just in Mumbai, a wonderful weekend there, wonderful devotees there. Several of us went there, and it was intense. There were a lot of different programs and meetings and whatever, but afterwards, I felt like, yeah, I really need a break. But I spent one day was enough. And just to have time to rest a little bit more and meditate more, recharge more, read a book that I enjoyed, whatever it was, but it wasn't like collapse. And I think that's what most people think. 12 hours, sleep it off. Maybe you need that, something like that. But anyway, we do need the breaks, but we need them to be able to balance out our lives. Otherwise, things will happen that aren't, it's not good for you to just keep under pressure, tense, and we shouldn't be working with that much tension. But if you keep going like that, physical ailments might happen, mental problems might happen, emotions erupt at different times when they shouldn't be coming out. You're angry or you're upset with somebody because you haven't had the time off. And it's time to clear the mind, clear the thoughts, get uplifted. I remember Swamiji said peace of mind was his bottom line. And if it got to the point where things were just so tense, he would often, as many times as I saw him, would take time off. So what do we do when we take time off? First of all, there are positive things you can do. It depends on you. First, get some rest, take some rest, sleep as much as you feel you need to, but don't overdo it. Master said if you just sleep, 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 sleep becomes a drug. And you wake up and you're drugged. Like after this weekend, I woke up very early in the morning. I said, wow, there's so much energy. I don't feel like I need that much sleep. And so don't just sleep because I need the sleep. How much do you need? Take what you need. So rest is good. And then do things that are nurturing to you. You might go for a walk, you might go to the park, you may go somewhere that's rejuvenating. It depends on where you live. You may want to get some extra exercise, run or swim or whatever, ride a bike, I don't know, whatever you feel to do. You may want to read some interesting book that you have that relaxes your mind. Some hobby, like the other day, I was playing a musical instrument, the Esraj, playing Swamiji's songs. It just healed my heart. I just love playing those songs. And you may want to play the harmonium, play some chants. It depends on you. The other thing, you may want to have some food that you enjoy. Eat properly instead of racing through your food and all that. Just have some time like that. Now, the spiritual practices you may want to, should actually add to all that is try to meditate a little bit more even. Don't, try it. You can't, I don't feel like meditating at all. If you sit there, I found that on those days, I can typically meditate more. But it depends on the person. But if you're not racing out the door or just coming back in, tend to meditate a little bit more, maybe. Do some yoga postures to relax yourself. Here's another wonderful one. It's a no-brainer, but why not pray to Divine Mother? Offer your week, offer the day. Yeah, this is my day I'm spending with you. And offer all the things that you've done to Divine. How could you even do them? Whose ideas were there? Whose inspiration? Whose energy? And you think, I did it all myself. Well, hello, you didn't. So think about it. Give everything to Divine Mother. It's so sweet when you can spend the day like that. Play some music of Swamiji's. Now, music has gotten very rajasic out there in the restaurants, at the hotels, and the airport, and wherever in people's cars. It's just too loud and too rajasic. So I'm not talking about that kind of music. I'm talking about sattvic, uplifting. And I was thinking about Swamiji's music, all those 400 pieces. Every note has consciousness to uplift your consciousness. Every note of that music. You can listen to some of that music and just feel it just relaxing your nervous system, relaxing your brain, relaxing your body, relaxing your emotions, and not just bringing you down, but uplifting you. And also, it's one thing people may like or they may not like it, but why not try to be alone on that day? I mean, you have maybe one day off every week or maybe 2 days, but some of that time try to be alone. I don't mean sleep. I mean, really consciously go for a walk by yourself instead of with the family of five. Take some time where you're just reading a book alone. Go to the park alone. Go for a run or a swim alone. Take some time when you're not always talking and always listening to other people. I was remembering something funny Swamiji said about one man. Yeah, maybe it was Master, but no, it was Swamiji. He said that he was with someone, and the man was asking the person who was with them, "My boy, are you married?" And this was somewhere in here in India. And the man said, "What do you mean? I'm married to your own daughter." And he said, "Why did you ask me that?" "Oh, I was just trying to find something to say." Don't always try to find something today to say, but be quiet sometimes. I've been in a car with close friends driving long distances where we never even talked. So it just doesn't, you don't have to talk all the time. Now, here's the next question: where to go on the free day? Well, you may not want to go anywhere. I would say it depends on the traffic. And if you're living in some places that are the traffic, it just drives you crazy. How can you have a free day with that traffic? I don't want to name the places, you know where they are. But anyway, you may not want to go out. I am enjoying where I'm living now because here in Pune, I can walk to the center, I can walk to the office. It's just all, I don't have to get in a car. And so you may want to stay at home on that day. You may want to go out in nature to a park or some reserve or bird watching. I would love to do that. But somewhere that's more quiet, somewhere that's beautiful, clean, uplifting. You may want to go to some mandir or a temple or a pilgrimage spot to the center even and just meditate on your own there. I would say avoid loud places like a mall. How can you relax in the mall, really? It's just too loud. The people is crowded, the noise, the music, the rajasic energy. So avoid places like that if you possibly can, unless you just really need to go. And who do you go with? Go, first of all, go with friends, but if you need company, if you don't need company, why be with people all the time? That's the question I have. I know people get used to that, but if you have to be with people on that day, don't be with people who are highly talkative or negative would be really bad, or who are needy. Be with people who are peers, who are like you, who are just calm, centered, relaxed, uplifted. And anyway, so there are a couple more points on this. One is, but I'll get to those in a minute, that what did Master and Swamiji do on their breaks and vacations? Well, Swamiji, I went with him at several, but he would go to really nice places. He would go, this is a vacation up to a beach area or national park or somewhere like that. And Master did the same, ocean, parks, beautiful places. Now, when we are there, wherever we go, or if we're at home, there are a couple of more points here. Interesting, but they seem like you shouldn't have to say them, but don't let your consciousness drop down. You go into the news of the day, you go into social media, you go into a movie that has a heavy vibration or violence or low energy, your energy is just going to drop. Your consciousness drops, your energy drops. You wonder what happened. You're sitting there on the couch, you're watching the third movie that doesn't have good energy in it, and you wonder why you're off, why you're out of tune. So don't let the consciousness drop. The other one is even in conversations, I find people always trying to change the topic to something that's a lower consciousness. Keep the consciousness high in the things you talk about, in the consciousness and the things that you discuss and all. When we were with Swamiji on days off, it was always the same conversation. Master, what Master do? Stories of Master, stories of uplifting, inspiring stories. It never was, this happened, that happened. he kept the vibration up. Keep your vibration up, keep your energy up, keep your consciousness up. And finally, who do you go with? If you go with friends if you want, but isn't it beautiful when you can go with Divine Mother? Just in your free day, even if you don't go anywhere, just Divine Mother, this is me and you today. I'm with you today, God. I'm with you today, Master. I'm with you today, gurus. And I love that beautiful story of Swamiji going on his free time to Carmel. After he had finished the Raja Yoga lessons with 600 pages, he went on a short vacation, and he said clearly he went with Divine Mother. He had in mind, he prayed to Divine Mother, he told her, I'm going with you. He didn't go with anybody else. And Carmel is a beautiful beachside, seaside place. It's just lovely vacation place. So Swamiji went, and he didn't have, this was way back beginning, early days of Ananda. He didn't have that much money, but he wanted to take a vacation and celebrate with Divine Mother. So he went to a beautiful place. And he goes, there was only one hotel, and he goes there, and it was quite expensive. And then so Swamiji, he always was conversant with whoever it was, and friendly, kind. And so then, when he talked to the proprietor, and then afterwards he says, okay, how much will it be? And the man told him. So Swamiji pulls out his wallet to pay. Now he's gone with Divine Mother, mind you. And the man says, oh, no, don't pay me. And Swamiji says, well, why? He says, oh, I don't know. I like you. It's an amazing thing. I like you. So he didn't have to pay for his room because he went with Divine Mother. And then he went to have his lunch. Then he sat and chatted with the man who owned the restaurant for a little bit. And after he had his lunch, afterwards he went to pay. And the man, no, don't pay. I don't want you to pay. It's on us. Now, have I seen that in my own life? Yes, I have seen it. It's wonderful when it happens. When does it happen? When you give everything to God. When you're not selfish, when you don't think about yourself, when you don't worry about money, when you give everything you have to Divine Mother. I've seen it in my own life. And I want to end with a wonderful story. I've shared this once with you all, but I just can't help but share it again. It's a Divine Mother story. Going on a trip to the Kanha Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. It has 90 plus tigers. This happened, well, a few years back. I've gone with Jyotishan Devi Ji to either Kanha or Pench and Daya Keshava, different ones. So anyway, this Kanha has 90 tigers plus 90 tigers. 1,200 square kilometers of enormous natural beauty, and it's one of the finest tiger reserves in the country. So me and another person who went, we were living simply in cabins in the reserve and had a simple prayer. Divine Mother, let us see tigers. Let us see you in tigers. So on the very first day, we go out on an open Jeep. Our first afternoon, and I had ridden this already, I'm just reading it, and spotted one lazily retired tiger about 100 meters away. After that, most of the tourists, or tigers, most of the tourists had vanished as closing time had come. While returning to our guest house, suddenly a tiger appeared 10 to 15 meters away. We all on that Jeep saw it clearly hidden in the grass. He was perhaps a 2.5-year-old male, radiant orange with black stripes, a sight to behold. He was inquisitive about us as well, so he sat low in the tall grass, observing us, moving his tail side to side. We were overjoyed, but also wanted to see him in full view again. Finally, after 10 minutes, we moved our vehicle ahead a little, and after a few minutes, he raised his head, looked around, and roared, "Oh!" He was communicating with the mother tiger who we had seen earlier, the tigress. And who had called to him? The young tiger, least bothered by our presence, gracefully walked away, drank some water from the stream, and then sat in the middle of the road. It was obvious he was the royal king of his territory, as if he was saying, "Take your photographs and go." We decided to honor His Excellency's presence and moved on. From this thrilling encounter, we felt that with patience, focus, and open-hearted desire to see this beautiful creature, Divine Mother, had fulfilled our wish. Om Shanti Shanti. I'll ask Nitendra to join us now.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji, for the beautiful story. We have a live question, so maybe we'll take that first.
Okay.
Quickly. Dhyanaji, it is that how do we deal with family members who want to gossip and you do not have a choice to avoid it, but at the same time, you also want your consciousness to remain uplifted?
Yeah. What I did with my family some time back, last visit, I had so many pictures from my time in India. I had so many stories. Anytime the energy kind of just started dropping, I would just start talking, but positively about things that had happened, things that they enjoyed. I knew they would enjoy the pictures. They were oohing and eyeing, and so I would say, just get involved. Don't shrink down and go, "Oh no, they're taking over." No? And also keep in mind Divine Mother and Master, and they'll give you something to say that's positive. But the thing you don't want to do is shrink down. You want to get bigger. And as you meditate more and do the practices, your aura is bigger. The light is bigger. And gossip has a lot of darkness in it. Let's face it. And so you have to beam that light in every room, wherever you go, wherever you are. You have to keep beaming light. And you'll find that the darkness it doesn't have the power over the light. You have to be that light. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, Dhyanaji. Thank you. The other question, Dhyanaji, is that how could Swamiji find time to create communities, travel the world, write music, write books, conduct lectures, and so much more?
I think because he took time off. Isn't that interesting? I mean, he took seclusion times, he took vacations, he took days off. And I remember he asked me when I asked for advice once, I thought he would say a whole lot. What did he say? He asked me, "Do you ever take a day off?" That was his advice. And I said, "Actually, no." He said, "You need to take time off." So all of us are trying to do everything we can. We have our regular job, we have the Sangha Seva, we have our family, we have our everything. But if you don't take time, you get ill, you end up in the hospital, you have ailments that come up, you have mental problems. You need to do it. It's not like an option. And do it with Divine Mother and make it fun and nurturing.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Just one last question quickly.
Okay?
So this whole whirlpool of social media, TV, and mobile phones, it just sucks us in. So how
Totally.
can we ensure that we do not fall in that trap?
I turn mine off at night. You may not be able to do that, but at a certain point, I just can't keep looking at the phone. I mean, it's like you become a nervous wreck. So you have to decide, how much time am I going to spend on social media and stick to it? How much time am I going to spend on the phone? How much time am I going to go back and forth messaging people? One person has 10 messages. You have to draw the line. How many people am I actually going to be messaging with? Some people you don't need to message with them. Give them to somebody else. So you have to draw the line. Like Swamiji said, peace of mind was his bottom line. And I see people getting they're nervous, they're restless, their eyes are blinking all the time, they're shaking their legs, under the table. It's like, you've gone too far. So, and they're watching movie after movie and they're violent, or I just think it's terrible. So you have to really say, okay, just like I told the fellow about the car, let's find God first, then do whatever you want. And the trick is, once you find God, you don't want to do those other things. You're not going to be on social media. You're not going to be WhatsApping. You're not going to be watching horror movies, So just get your perspective. Do I want to find God or not? If you don't, do whatever you want. If you do, stick with what Master gave. He was very clear. And so distraction after distraction, filler after filler, it's exhausting. So you have to draw the line. Nobody can draw that for you. And if you do, you'll find what a relief. I don't need that. I don't need this person. I don't need to talk to this person. I don't need to call 50 people. I don't need it. I need to get my priorities straight. Get them straight. And then you'll take off spiritually. If you don't get them straight, you'll be bogged down and you don't know why. But it's because you don't have those priorities straight. I hope all of this is helpful. It's vitally important. Get balance in your life. Put Divine Mother first. You will find that everything else works out wonderfully. God bless you all. And thank you, Natendra. Bye bye, everybody. Have a good day. Bye bye.